Hey, thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk about finding the center of a circle. It seems a lot of our projects that we run into today have some kind of a round design. And if you want to put your design right in the middle of this round circle, if you don't know how to find the center of this circle, it can be a problem for you. I'm going to show you how to make a simple yet very effective jig to take all the guesswork out of that. And then once we get that jig made, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use it and how you set your LightBurn up so you can go ahead and make sure that when you want to center something in a circle, it's a guaranteed process. So let's go to LightBurn. I'll show you how to lay out this jig. We'll come back out. We'll cut this jig out on the Thunder Nova 35 100 watt laser. We'll put it together and I'll show you how to use it. The whole process shouldn't take you 20-30 minutes at the most. And once you're done, you can hang it on your wall and it'll be stress-free when you need to find the center of a circle. Let's go check it out in LightBurn. Okay, I've got a new canvas. Our jig is going to be 14 inches by 14 inches. And it will handle most of the circles that you're going to need, unless you have some great big circles in the, in the 24 to 30 inch diameter range. If you do have circles that big, you'll just need to grow this jig up just a little bit to handle that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make two rectangles. I'm going to make the first rectangle 2 inches in width, and I'm going to go ahead and make the height 14 inches. So we've got a 2-inch wide by 14-inch high rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and right mouse click. I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to right arrow over. I'm going to take my period key, hit it once, and rotate it 90 degrees. If you have your object snaps on, which I recommend you have on all the time, and they live right here, make sure you have your object snaps on, and you can go ahead and take this corner and snap it to that corner. And once we've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to group this. I'm going to turn it red because that's the color I use for cutting. And then I'm going to go ahead and combine or weld these two rectangles. So I'm going to come over here to the weld tool and select weld. Oops, I've got to ungroup them. And then select weld, and you notice now it's all one piece. Okay, this is going to be our 90-degree angle that we're going to fit the circle in order to determine where the center of our circle is. So we've got this jig almost halfway built already. You're going to see this goes really fast. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to pull it over here. We're going to come over here and we're going to go and make a second rectangle, and I'm going to start right here. If you got your object snaps on, it's going to snap right there to there. I'm going to draw it out. I'm going to pull it out over here. I'm going to do a little node editing. This is just the quickest way to do this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come up here to edit, and I'm going to convert this square to a path. And then that way I can come over here to a node editing, and you can see I've got a node in each corner. I'm going to go ahead and select this node, make sure it's selected, and I'm going to hit the D key. And I've just eliminated that node, so now I've got a perfect triangle that's the width from this corner to this corner. We've almost got this jig built, believe it or not. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my offset tool because I want to cut this piece out just to make this jig a little bit lighter. And so let's keep that at a 2-inch because I want 2 inches from here to here. I want this to be cut out. I'm going to say OK. And at this point, I'm going to group these two pieces. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to center this hole in this. And if I try to center it now, because these are welded it's going to put my hole way over here, which I don't want. It's going to be hanging out there in space. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to just draw me a quick tool layer. Try to undo that, deselect that. And we're going to come over here to our rectangle tool, select our tool layer, zoom in here. We're going to just draw a quick rectangle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I want to center this. I'm going to hold the shift key down, click on the tool layer, and then come over here and say I want you to vertically center that in the middle of this 2-inch side, which it did. Now I can go back and click on the tool layer, get rid of that, and these two pieces are ready to go. And the idea here is once I get this piece and this piece cut out of 1/4-inch Baltic birch plywood, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue this piece over this piece. And so what's going to happen is if you had a circle, let's go ahead and just draw a circle out here. And if I wanted to find the center of a circle now, I would just come in here. I'm going to show you actually how to do this. But you would scribe it right here, and then you would rotate that circular object or that circle and scribe it here again, and you do it maybe 2 or 3 times, and it's going to give you a perfect location of where that center of that circle is. And that's as easy as it is. So what I'm going to do though, when I get ready to build this thing, is I'm going to glue this piece on top of this piece. And you're going to see how all of that fits together. So I've got my settings dialed in, I believe, and we'll go ahead and go to the laser now and cut out these 2 pieces, and then we'll put it together. Okay, let's move this out of the way. It's going to get a little noisy. Like that cut all the way through. Nice clean cut. Except for that was my mistake because I forgot to turn the air on. Nice caramel color. So we've got our L bracket all done. We'll go ahead and load another piece in here, cut our other triangle, and we will have our jig cut out. All we've got to do is put it together. And this jig will even establish opposite sides of tumblers. So if you have a tumbler that's only got one logo, you can use this jig to establish marks on your tumbler on the exact opposite of where your logo is located. All right. Let's see. Well, we can tell that the internal part's all loose. Again, what I normally do is I tap this along just to make sure that we're all good. Looks like we're all cut out. We'll pull this out and we'll put this jig together. Okay, we've got our 2 pieces of our jig, our L bracket and our triangle, and all we're going to do is I'm going to put some glue, some super glue here, some super glue here. I'm going to take this, I'm going to fold it over. And the most important thing when you're making this jig is you want to make sure that the bottom is lined up and this end is lined up. And that way this corner should be coming right off at a 45-degree angle right from that corner on up. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this together. Again, you want to make sure the bottom is flush, this back side is flush, and make sure that this corner right here is coming off right at the corner. This is really what's going to make your jig accurate. So you want to take your time and do this. I'm not going to go ahead and video filming this because I want to make sure that it's nice and square. So we'll be back when it's all glued up. Okay, I got this all glued up. I made sure that these two pieces were flush on the back and that were flush on the bottom. This is going to be, if you don't get this right, your jig is not going to be accurate. So you want to just be sure that you're absolutely flush on the bottom, that this point on the top comes to the point on the bottom. And we're going to just let this sit for a few minutes, and then I'll show you how to use this jig. Again, it's simple, easy, and once you have this, you'll be able to use this on all kinds of stuff. Okay, in order to use this jig is all glued up and dried. We've got a circle here that we want to find the center of. We've got our jig, and all we're going to do is going to go ahead and lay this over our circle and make sure that the circle edge touches here and it touches on both sides to make sure it's seated in this corner. And all you're going to do is take a nice sharp pencil and just draw a very faint line kind of where you think the middle should be. And then all you've got to do is just rotate this a little bit. Make sure that your circle is seated in the corner. And maybe do one more just for good measure. Make sure it's seated. And right there, we have determined the center of our circle. That's how easy it is. And so it doesn't matter whether it's this big or it's much bigger. You could probably do a 22-inch circle with this jig. It doesn't have to go all the way across as long as the center sits somewhere on this 45-degree angle. But this is a quick and easy way. So now we've got our design. We want to get it in the middle of this circle. We'll go to the laser, and I'll show you how to set up LightBurn to make sure that the design that you want is going to end up in the center of this circle. Okay, I've got my 10-inch circle that is cut out and ready to go. I just drew a circle that is 10 inches by 10 inches to make sure it matches our cutout. I've dropped a design in here and sized it. This design normally is quite a bit smaller, so this design may print out just a little bit lighter. That's okay, you get the idea. Here's the secret to this process. I'm going to make sure that I use user origin, and then I put center as my start from. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pull the laser head to the center of the bed, wherever I want it to work. I'm going to hit user origin, and I'm going to stick the red mark right in the middle of the 10-inch disc. We'll do that next. So in order to set up my laser, I'm just going to pull this to wherever it's convenient for me to work. I'm going to pull this up here just about like so. I'm going to take my circle. I sanded most of the marks off other than just this little bitty point right here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to center that red dot right in the middle of where that spot is. So you can see that I've got that right in the middle of that pencil mark. I'm going to make sure that I have the origin button pushed. And I'm going to go ahead and start the laser, and let's see what it looks like. Just to take a quick check, make sure this design is in the center. Let's measure the edge to each one of these designs. Looks like it should be about 0.32. And it looks like to me most of these are right on the money. So you know that your jig that you built is right on the money. Great. The nice thing about once you get your center finder done, you know, you can go ahead and do double-sided because it's so easy to find the center of a circle. Well, there you have it. Pretty simple to make this center finder jig. Takes you about 20-25 minutes. You can do double-sided things once you have a jig like that. A lot of fun. You can make little ornaments, big ornaments. Anyway, I hope this information was helpful. And as always, if you'd please like and subscribe, I'd sure appreciate it. Until next time, thanks and have a great day.